Good evening and welcome to DTV, Knoxville's television program for Democrats and by Democrats. We're here tonight on a Zoom call, a Zoom telecast that will feature the new Knox County Democratic Party Chair, Matt Shears. Yay, Matt.
Hello everybody.
Chris Foell, Democratic delegate to the Democratic National Convention of 2020. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you? Thanks.
And Chris is also the one of our representatives from the 4th Commission District for our male representative from the 4th Commission District to the Board of Governors, Knox County Democratic Party Board of Governors. And I'm Bill Owen, member of the Democratic National Committee, elected member of the Democratic National Committee for primarily for East Tennessee. We're elected statewide, but we break it down into East, Middle, and West. And I'm the East Tennessee representative on the Democratic National Committee. So welcome to DTV. Tonight we're going to be talking, first of all, about the election results from the county general election and state primary and national primary from last Thursday. And then we're going to talk about the Democratic Party platform that will be voted on at the Democratic National Convention next week. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our exciting new ticket of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So we are all excited about that. So Matt, Mr. Chairman, if you would start out, you and Chris are going to talk a little bit about the results of the election this past Thursday, and about we picked up a seat or two in the on the county commission. So Chris and Matt, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Bill. So first of all, thanks for welcoming me to DTV. I'm very excited to go from acting chair to full chair at KCDP. Excited about the momentum that we have going. And right now, it's a great time to be a Democrat in Knox County, and that's because the Democratic Party is on the move in Knox County. We are on the offensive, and frankly, the Republican Party is the party that's on the defensive right now in Knox County. Over the last 2 years, we've flipped a state house seat, and then this past Thursday, we flipped a county commission seat quite handily by about 10% in District 2. To give you a few highlights of what the election results were, last time around in 2016, we lost District 2 by 70 votes. This time, we won it by over 700 votes. And we won it by about 9%. It was about a 9% change that we saw there. And so District 2 is trending Democratic. The other highlight of the night was that District 4 had a lot of movement. In District 4, we ended up losing that race, but it was a 4-point increase over 2016. And actually, we won it with we lost with 46% of the vote. So we gave the Republicans a good run for their money, and I think we scared them quite a bit in that district. And Chris will talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But it bodes well for Virginia Couch, who's running in House District 18, because it demonstrates the larger movement that we're seeing across the nation, which is a trend towards Democrats in suburban areas, suburban-leaning areas. And then the third one, the third race that we ran was District 5, and we lost that, but we did see a 9-point change in the percentage of Democratic vote there as well. And then, of course, in District 1, Daisha Lundy, who's a spectacular candidate, spectacular public advocate, won her race quite handedly as well. And so we are excited to have 2 Democrats on Knox County Commission, and we look forward to having more as the years go by, too. So we not only flipped the House seat in 2018, we flipped the County Commission seat in just last Thursday. And we're looking forward to flipping some more seats as well. So, and I'll let Chris talk a little bit more about some of the races too.
Okay, I'll start out here with, actually, one thing I want to say about District 2 is our victory in District 2 is proof positive of the old adage, when Democrats vote, Democrats win. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay, on to District 4. Like Matt mentioned, we increased the Democratic percent vote from 42.5 to 46% from 2016 to 2020, going from a very low turnout scenario to a much higher turnout scenario. The Democratic vote in each of the 4th district precincts was either double or in sometimes as much as triple what we got in 2016. We managed to actually increase the percent of vote that is Democratic in each of those precincts in every one except 3. One we didn't do it in was Pond Gap, which is kind of a little bit curious. We increased the amount of voters there, but we did not increase the percentage. That's kind of an odd thing. But the 2 big suburban precincts that we didn't do it were Bluegrass and North Shore Elementary. Those are big Republican-dominated precincts. Our vote percentage dropped a little bit from that, but that's okay considering the fact that Republicans turned out in droves to vote in their senatorial race. In terms of precincts won and lost from 2016 to 2020, the results were the same except for one glaring exception, and that is Bearden High, precinct 47. In 2016, we lost it by 10 points. Last week, we won it by 10 points. That is a huge swing. And that has major implications for Virginia Couse's race in House District 18. That is a major, large precinct, lots of voters. And we managed to flip it, and we managed to flip it very convincingly. And I think it speaks volumes to the work that Todd did and the party did with our field organizers. And we also, as you remember, in the fall, we targeted that precinct with our canvassing day of action before all this COVID stuff started. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but think that may have made a difference also.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the story there. The only thing I add about District 4 is that the more we actually, like in Dean Hill, for example, we actually increased the vote substantially in Dean Hill, and that's a tough precinct for us. And in the other 2 Republican precincts, we held our own. I think the key is in the future is that those are precincts that represent our future. And the reason they do is because they're being populated with a lot of young families raising their children, and many of those families are more than willing to be part of our Democratic coalition going forward. Mm-hmm. So the area is changing, like you mentioned before, and those precincts are part of our future that we need to build on.
You're exactly right, Chris. You are exactly right. The future of the Democratic Party is in these suburban areas that have been ill-served by the Republicans. Mm-hmm. And the number one thing on health care is just refusing to expand Medicaid. And what they're doing on the state level is refusing to expand Medicaid. They're hurting our hospitals. They're hurting our health care delivery systems here in the middle of a pandemic. And then, of course, what the Republicans are doing nationwide in trying to gut Obamacare and trying to restrict the access to quality health care is criminal, really. And so the Democrats are answering the call that to address America's problems, especially the problems of people in the suburbs and people in the inner cities, whereas the Republicans are ignoring this, and they are captive of the Trump agenda of just helping the super rich.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'd add in connection with that, Bill, that for District 2, Courtney Durette's race, she ran against a Republican who was very well funded, Grant Rosenberg, who built a lot of connections and networks with Republicans across the spectrum, including Governor Haslam, including Jimmy Haslam, and he had quite a large number of large donors. But at the end of the day, he still lost by 10 percentage points because it didn't matter how much money he had or how much money he spent. The trends were in the direction of Democrats, and the hard work on the ground those trends were in the direction of Democrats, because we had more volunteers turn out and say, we want to do something. We don't know what we want to do, but we want to do something. We had over 150 volunteers that were working on these county commission races, and the amount of hours that we placed on phone calling, on mailing postcards, was tremendous. And I think there's a lot of positive momentum and energy and passion that Knox County Democrats are going to take from these races into November as well. And so we've got an army of volunteers that are ready to fight and get out there and work come November as well.
Well, we have some really quality candidates going into November. Certainly, we want to congratulate Sam McKenzie for the winning the race that he did. It was a close race. Matthew Park ran a good race. Rick Staples has done an excellent job in representing the area on many things. He ran into some personal problems, but Rick is a good guy, and we wish him the best of luck. But Sam McKenzie is our golden guy. He's well qualified, super intelligent guy, and will be a great state representative. Virginia Couch has an excellent shot at winning the 18th district. I've happened to have represented both of those districts in the past, 18 and 15. And then, of course, Elizabeth Rowland is just a super candidate. She is a breath of fresh air and will make a great state representative. I'm just big time hoping that she can hang in there and run well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And the work that Gloria and her campaign continued to do, we're feeling very confident about that race, and Justin Davis as well. And then we're very excited about Jane George stepping up and running against Senator Becky Duncan Massey, and excited for all of these wonderful candidates. So, yeah, definitely.
Okay, Matt, I guess let's move on to District 5 and then the House races now.
Yeah, so District 5, like I mentioned earlier, we saw a 9% increase in Democratic vote percentage. So we went from 24% to 33%. And I know sometimes people say, well, 33% is, that's not that much. Well, 33% is a lot more than 24%. And if we can gain 9% every time we run, those are good numbers. Those are some very positive numbers. And Charles Chandler out in District 5 has been running some of the post-election numbers for Kimberly Peterson's race. And we're finding more and more that the work that our districts are doing, including District 4, District 5, other districts, are really resulting in changes in these elections. And I feel confident that we will continue to be able to pour the resources in, the manpower to make sure that we do the things that are working. Because I'm very excited because once an election is over, we can run the data, we can run the stats, and we can say, all right, this is what worked. This is legitimately the resources and the actions that work, and then we can pour more resources into that going forward. So I'm very excited about District 5. And then the House District, we had mentioned House District 15, and how the winner, Sam McKenzie, won by just 25 votes, which is quite a victory margin right there, down to the wire. And it came all the way down to provisional ballots. Both Sam and Matthew went to watch the provisional ballot counting, and through that, Sam ended up garnering 2 more votes total versus Matthew. And so that was a tough fought race, good campaigns on all sides, lots of good ideas, lots of good policies. And I think that we as a Democratic Party are better for it, because it makes better candidates, I think, and also it helped us to kind of grow in our bench of folks that can work on campaigns as well.
All right, now House District 18. Matt, you want to say a little bit just quickly about the some of the drama associated with that race?
Yeah. So my counterpart at the Knox County GOP kind of inserted himself quite forcefully into that primary. and has actually come out and said that he will not support the Republican nominee for House District 18. And so I'm not going to assert myself into Republican drama or civil war, but I will say that I will, along with every Democrat I know, proudly support our candidate, Virginia Couch, for House District 18. And we are looking forward to flipping that seat and sending another Democrat to represent Knox County in Nashville come November. And
Yeah,
that's
I
all
think
I'll say about that.
Okay. I just think that there's several questions about House District 18 in terms of what might happen. There's two key questions as far as I can see. Will those Republicans who voted for Eddie Manis's opponent, will they not cast a vote for him in November? And are there longtime Democrats in that district who may actually consider voting for Eddie Manis as opposed to our candidate? So I think those are two questions that remain to be seen.
Yeah.
Any Democrat who's considering crossing over, I would tell them that electing Eddie Manis to the state legislature does nothing to break the Republican supermajority there and does nothing to advance Democratic priorities for the state.
Yeah, and in regards to crossover voting, of course, there's always crossover voting. From the data that we've seen in District 2, actually, where folks expected there to be quite a bit of crossover voting, Republicans voting for Courtney or Democrats voting for Grant, we found that in the crossover voting battle, the Democrat won, that there were more Republicans who voted for the Democratic candidate than there were Democrats who voted for the Republican candidate. And I think that will be continue to be the trend going forward too, is that you see a lot of disaffected Republicans who say, I can't put up with this anymore, and are coming over to vote for the Democrat. Even if they don't want to identify as a Democrat, and they still want to be a Republican, we very much welcome Republicans who want to vote for Democratic candidates. And I think we'll see more and more of that come November.
I think you're exactly right. I think President Trump has hurt the Republican Party. There's no question about that. And there are a lot of Republicans who are just not, they cannot stomach the things that Donald Trump does and the things that he has done over the past 3.5 years. You know, if you look back on Trump's disapproval rating, he has his disapproval rating for the past 4 years has always been above 50%. His disapproval, he has always been underwater significantly, really, and it's now around 15%. And I think the average is somewhere around 15% of the American people disapprove of Donald Trump. And that is still is becoming the case here in Tennessee. Now, I'm not predicting that Joe Biden's going to carry Tennessee right now, but I do think that there's a substantial dissatisfaction and disaffection with Donald Trump, and especially here in some of these House districts like 18 or like where Elizabeth Rowland was running, then I think that we have a shot at picking those seats up. And of course, I think Gloria is going to run much stronger than she has in the past. She ran a good race last time and won really with a larger margin than a lot of people expected. And I think she'll have an even larger margin this time.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for your comments, Bill. We need to transition to the discussion about the DNC platform.
Yes.
We don't have all that much time. So, Bill, if you just introduce that quickly, and then I'll mention what I have to say about it.
The preamble to the platform, and we're all, I guess we've all voted for it. And usually we don't vote for it until the actual convention, but under this circumstance, we have voted for it. And the preamble to the platform talks about America is an idea that has endured and evolved, and it radiates hope to the entire world. America radiates hope to the entire world and has been that way ever since Thomas Paine started talking about that in the early days of the American Revolution. And the platform that, and Chris is going to get into this a little more thoroughly, but we're talking about we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accords. We're going to up the Iran nuclear agreement. We're going to have a national commission on slavery and systemic racism. We're going to address health care and expand Obamacare to where it should be. And, you know, really, Chris, you can talk more about some of these specifics, but we talk about diversity, and diversity is a strength of America. It is our strength, and our goal is to never stop trying to build a more perfect union, and that's what our platform addresses.
Yeah, very good, Bill. Well said. Okay, let me just give you some sort of an outline of the platform. The platform is divided into 10 different sections, and the sections are as follows. Protecting the American people from COVID-19, stronger and fairer economy, healthcare, criminal justice reform, another section called Healing the Soul of America, the climate crisis battle, restoring democracy, immigration, education, and finally, American leadership, which of course is foreign policy. I was just going to hit a few highlights in terms of what some of these things say. For example, under the economy, it's advocating for things like minimum wage of $15 an hour, repealing right to work, enforcing labor laws, providing for paid family leave, infrastructure spending to produce good paying union jobs is an important thread of this whole platform. Investing in manufacturing. Healthcare, the biggie, it recognizes healthcare as a human right, but it does so by strengthening Obamacare, and here's the big thing, Obamacare will offer a public option. And the public option will have at least one plan that is a no deductible plan for those who want it. It'll cover primary care at no co-pays. It'll also auto enroll low-income people in the public option with an option to opt out if they want. So, and it'll also provide for allowing 60-year-olds to buy into Medicare or a public option. So those are the big healthcare points right there. Criminal justice reform is the standard things, reviewing use of force by police, decriminalizing marijuana, things of that nature. The section on healing the soul of America is interesting because it basically focuses on protection of basic civil rights for all Americans, but in particular for women, LGBTQ people. It also talks about ending the cycle of gun violence, and also has a large section devoted to the rights of Native Americans, which are people who are so often looked in our nation. So that's right there. Battling the climate crisis. Things like net zero emissions for power plants by 2035, net zero or carbon neutrality for the building sector by 2030, investments in solar, energy upgrades to low-income housing, things of that nature. Let's see, going on to restoring democracy, these are things like enforcing voting rights, automatic voter registration, expanded mail-in voting options, also campaign finance reform. We're talking about trying to get overturned Citizens United with a constitutional amendment, but also including, in the meantime, forcing full disclosure of dark money groups and as well as banning corporate PACs. Immigration, a path to citizenship, and unification of immigrant based on family values, family units. Talked about education, the usual things, universal pre-K, increased Title I funding, no vouchers, highly regulating charter schools, and then finally, American leadership just talks about basic foreign policy things. I didn't really read that section that closely, but that's pretty much where you have it, some of the major bullet points in terms of what the platform is trying to do. So That's about all I have to say on it. I've read it a few
Good
times.
job there, Chris. And we've got a great presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate to get behind. I mean, just getting excited. We can get excited about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Oh, absolutely. I'm primed and ready to go.
This is right. Fired up and ready to go. We are. This is a team that can win, and not only can they win, they can govern. They can bring America the type of government that we deserve and we are used to having until this past 4 years that have just been a total disaster of one problem after another, one dramatic moment after another. Let's get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in, and let's start attacking some of these problems. Build back better. That's the theme, build back better, and that's what we want to do.
Yep, you betcha.
Yeah, I think that people are ready for competent government again. What we've seen recently on all levels, I mean, we've seen it even here on the state level too, is that that Republicans have been shown to not be competent at attacking the COVID-19 crisis. And I think folks are ready for a breath of fresh air where we can trust the people that are in charge to make the right decisions.
Exactly. And we need to mention Renee Hoyos. She is a great candidate. She has raised more money than any other Democratic candidate, I think, in the entire state. Certainly other than any other non-incumbent. And she has received more votes. I mean, she's a dynamite candidate. Dynamo. She is a dynamo. That's what I'm trying to say. She's a great candidate. And so, we wish her the best, very best.
Definitely, yeah. And I just met with Dawn, her campaign manager, today about some of their plans, and we're really excited and stoked to be behind them and their exciting campaign that they have going forward. So,
yeah, Rosina and I will be doing a virtual fundraiser for Renee at the end of the month.
Oh, great.
So you can look forward to that.
You and Rosina have done a great job, Chris. Just a great job.
Well, I really appreciate it. It really makes me feel good to hear that. And it's just, we've been together doing this for, since 2013. And, she's, we complement each other very well because I'm more oriented towards schedules and organizing things as far as, with the meetings and everything. And she has a lot of fantastic ideas about, setting up parties and, motivating people. And it's just, we have real synergy there. And it's been really fantastic. And I appreciate the support that we've gotten in the 4th District. They're a great bunch of voters, like all Democratic voters, but it's been really, really a fantastic time motivating District 4 voters.
Great. How much time do we have?
Got 20 seconds left.
Tune in and watch DTV every week. Thank you.
Biden-Harris 2020.
All right, got it.
Good
Sweet.
job. Good
How do
job.
you think we did?